Hi everyone, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I have an easy encouragement card to share with you. So let's jump right in. Now this is the new smiley face stencil. This is from the new release at A Colorful Life Designs. I also have the brand new stamp called Amazing, which has some really fun, unique sentiments on it. I have a card base ready to go, have a little ink pad, Hickory Smoke Distress Ink, and I'm going to use the color Coral Cabana from Catherine Pooler on my mini ink pad just for a little pop of color. I have my blending brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and here are a couple photos to show you the direction that we're headed. It's a very simple, easy design, came together quickly, and sure to bring a smile. So to start, I'm just going to lay the stencil down directly over my card base. So you can do this on an additional panel, but I think why add the bulk, why waste the cardstock, right? I like to work directly on a card base just to keep it simple. So I am going to mask off one of the little smiley faces in the center, and that's how I'm going to make sure I can make that the nice bright coral color in the finished composition. So I'm using my magnets to hold it down. You can use pixie spray if you want, but you really don't need it on this particular design because it doesn't really have a lot of like moving parts or long slats or anything like that. So it's easily maintained just using magnets or holding it down to the card base or card panel. So I'm just going to work over the composition with this gray color, kind of going heavier handed in spots. Excuse me, and lighter handed in others, but I do want to make sure I get all the little smiley faces around the whole front of the card base in this nice rich gray color. So now I'm just going to pull back this area and kind of mask around it so I don't get red where I don't want it, and then I'm going to come in with that Coral Cabana and really fill in this little tiny smiley face towards the center of the card. So I feel like this gives it a nice little pop of color and also kind of gives your eye a focal path to follow here. But it's just a fun, whimsical design, and it really came together super quickly. So I'm going to remove the stencil, and that's going to reveal this design. Now here I'm not entirely sure what sentiment I want to use or what direction I want to go. So this is a way to kind of stamp without ruining your card if you're not sure it's going to work out. So lay down a piece of plastic. You could use your stamp packaging or any plastic scrap that you have in your stash, and then just stamp on that first with your MISTI. You could do it with a stamping block too, I suppose, but a MISTI just, of course, makes everything easier. So I'm going to use this plastic just to see how this lines up and see if this looks the way that I want it to, because in normal fashion, I don't have a plan. I don't make a card in advance of my videos. I kind of just wing it and decide as I go how I want to create the card. So I do have my rich black pigment ink here. It's okay if it's not a perfect impression because I'm really just trying to see if this is where I want the design to go. So this does fit in this space perfectly, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to stand off enough against that stenciled background. So this, again, is a nice way to check it and see if you think you're going to like it before you do the stamping directly on the card. Now here's my solution. I took a strip. It's probably about, I don't know, 1.25 inches wide maybe. And I'm going to stamp directly on this gray cardstock instead. So this will really help the sentiment stand off. I don't have to worry about it competing with the background, and I'm just going to stamp it right on that strip of gray cardstock. So here I decide I want to stamp another one of the cool sentiments on the inside of the card, and I will use that Coral Cabana for that, just to tie in a little bit of that corally red color into the design. So I have my larger MISTI here. I have the card opened, and I'm just conditioning the stamp with my finger. That helps get the manufacturer's goo off of the stamp so you get a better impression. And then I'm just going to stamp that into the inside of the card. So it says, "Make Today Amazing." And I'm just kind of conditioning it, cleaning it, and I'm going to stamp it one more time just to make sure that it's nice and even and ready to go there. So I do decide to continue the design a little bit on the inside of the card. This is a way that I like to do it, just to kind of pull the design from the front to the inside, but in kind of a very simple, subtle way. So I'm just using residual ink from my blending brush. It's very pale. It won't get in the way of me writing to the recipient, but it does continue that design and give it a little bit more something, a little bit more of a design element. Now to snazz it up a little bit further, I did take my corner chomper with the 1/2 inch side and I rounded that top right corner. And now I'm just going to use some foam tape to pop up this little gray panel on the front of the card just to give it a little bit of dimension, because overall it is a very simple design. There's not much to it. So just cutting little extra pieces just to make sure it's covered evenly and doesn't get crushed in shipping. And I added some clear resin droplets for some blingage, and that's going to finish my card. So very simple. Be sure to check out the rest of the release at A Colorful Life Designs. There's loads of new stencils, and use my coupon AmyFan10 and save on your complete order. Thanks for watching. Bye.